Jessica Butts, and I'm coming to you on Monday, and it is day 6 of the 10-day challenge of the book club. So thank you for joining me. Thank you everybody who's been joining me for this entire series thus far. There have been epic comments. I think we've got over 1,000 views on the really sassy day where I went crazy. So thank you everybody. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning everybody who's popping on. It is just an honor and a privilege to be able to come to you with this book that I have wrote a couple of years ago. And it's exciting to kind of rebirth it a little bit with you guys and play with it and talk to you guys about this over the next couple of weeks. So today we're going to do a bunch. We're actually going to do 4 chapters. We're going to do chapters 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 4 chapters, and I'm going to attempt to get this done in 15 minutes. So we'll see how that goes because you know I like to talk. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the car. So buckle up. We're going to talk about your front seat, your back seat, all the things that you're good at, all the things that you suck out. I'm going to outline it for you so that you have some real clarity, because oftentimes, or many of you have been telling me that you love obviously reading the book, but you prefer to hear it from me, that I say it in kind of a different way for you guys. So I will be taking my time tomorrow, spending a full half hour and really going through the analogy of the front seat and the back seat so that you can actually hear me say it versus read it from the book. I think I'm going to do one short day Wednesday about mindset and all of the mindset, Jedi mindset tricks that I love to teach you guys. And then Thursday and Friday, we're going to get into some serious ass kicking areas, and we're going to talk about action. So I'm going to talk to you about my signature system, the 3 S's, structure, systems, and singular focus, to help you kick some ass this summer. And on that note, a lot of you have been emailing me, DMing me, messaging me about the summer challenge. I have decided over this weekend to do something a tiny bit different. It's going to be similar, but I'm actually going to do summer school. So I realized that it's a little bit too long to do an entire summer challenge. So I'm actually going to ask you guys to enroll, if you will, in summer school. So stay tuned for that. So when I get back from a trip, July 8th, which is right after my 46th birthday, I'm going to walk you through 2 entire months of all of my best business practices, and you get to get enrolled in that. So stay tuned for that. Stephanie will be getting you all kinds of information. Okay, let's jump in. So glad to see all of you on live. Thank you so much. So we're going to talk about don't do stuff you suck at, and we're going to go to chapter 6, and I've got some notes here and I've flagged it. So chapter 6 is all about the weirdos. So who's a weirdo? Can I have some hands below? Can I get some comments about the weirdos? So I am a full weirdo. For those of you who know my story, I grew up in I would say a traditional house, a bunch of censors, a bunch of people who kind of are fine with the status quo. I then, of course, because this is what the universe does to you, I also married somebody like that. So I spent about 40 years of my life. Oh, good. You guys are saying, I'm a weirdo. Yep, proud of it. Yeah, I spent 40 years kind of being surrounded by people who didn't really understand me. I was in corporate America. I was married to the wrong person. I had, kind of this background from my parents and school telling me that I didn't fit in. Basically, like, what's wrong with you is what I heard a lot. And I started to believe that. I love that the sun's coming out just as I can't. Hold on. Hang tight. Hang tight. I'm glowing. I'm glowing. Oh, there. That's a little bit better. Hang tight. Hang tight. Okay. So anyway, so I totally grew up feeling like a total weirdo, and I know so many of you do too. And instead of spending the rest of my life thinking that there's something wrong with me, that's when I realized that there was something to personality type, and that actually my weirdness is my greatest asset. And actually, Jim Roth has a quote that I use in chapter 6, which is exactly that. Your weirdness is likely your greatest asset. So when we can show up and learn our differences, our uniqueness in the world, and start owning it instead of hiding it or oppressing it in some way, that really becomes the beauty of what we can do in this world. So the 4 marginalized types, there's actually 4.5 marginalized types. So the first one are the introverts. So introverts are absolutely marginalized in our society. They are meant to feel shamed, especially with social media this day and age. There's so much judgment and criticism about how many activities are you in, how many friends are you, how much are you on social media. This is a whole, another Facebook Live, but the children, our kids these days, grow up feeling that if they're not involved with massive amounts of activities, that there's something wrong with them. And that's what we do, is we pathologize people in our society if they don't fit into the norm. And again, this is my BHAG, is to quit getting people to do that, to be unapologetically who you are. And step into our weirdness, because again, that is our greatest asset. So these are things that I have found through my research. You're likely not going to hear this anywhere else, but I have curated these hypotheses from my time of being a clinical psychotherapist and watching my clients, of realizing how many introverts feel left out in our society today. The second marginalized type is, as you guys all know, this was my weirdo-ness of being an intuitive type. So intuitives are only 25% of the population, and we grow up feeling like there's something wrong with us, that we don't belong, that because 75% of the population are the opposite type. And so what's interesting is clients even come to me and they say things like, actually, I might be an intuitive, but because I have been oppressing these feelings or suppressing my creativeness my entire life, that I actually, I'm not sure which one I am, because there has been this judgment or this stigma around being able to be intuitive. So our schools are designed by S's for S's. 9-to-5 jobs are absolutely designed for S's. The majority of our life, hi Lisa, hi Karen, are designed for that. So if you're marginalized types, type it in below. If you're an introvert and you feel marginalized, I would love to see your comments, because you know that I go back and read these. And if you're an intuitive, which I know a bunch of you just joining right now are intuitives, and you know this feeling of feeling marginalized, that you're stupid, that you're something wrong with you. Lisa just came on and we spend tons of time talking about this, that people around her have made her come to feel like she's not smart because she's more creative than she is logical. And as you know, I think that's complete and utter bullshit. In fact, again, that is our secret sauce. That is our differentiator in this world, is being able to show up, totally fucking own that part of who we are, really step into that place of knowing that this is our greatest asset. So I'm just talking about marginalized types. If you want to go back and learn more about sensing and intuition, I fucking went off on Wednesday. So that episode is last Wednesday. It's either on YouTube or down in my feed. So go check that one out. I went a little crazy. And then the thinking and feeling marginalized types, Sarah's saying, absolutely. So the thinking and feeling marginalized types are gender biased. So thinking men make up 75% of the population, and feeling women make up 75% of the population. So clearly the marginalized type in that are feeling men and thinking women. And feeling men often report things like being called the P word. I'm never going to say that one live. I'll say fuck all day long, but I won't say that word. And they feel left out. They feel different. They feel weird. They feel marginalized. They don't understand what's wrong with them. I've had a number of feeling men clients, and they often, come in and say things like, I assumed I was gay, but I'm not gay, but I don't understand then where I fit in, because I way rather hang out with women than I want to hang out with men, so I don't know what's wrong. And then thinking women get called the B word all the time. They are absolutely, they are completely misunderstood. Women give them a really bad rap. And this is also why this is my BHAG, is to get people to quit judging each other, right? This is what we do. What's wrong with her? What's wrong with him? Why aren't they more like me? Why aren't they, making decisions the way that I do? Oh, Bonnie's saying, I'm raising a feeling boy. Yay, Bonnie. We need more of those. So raise him well. Let him be that feeler. And so this is so critically important to put our own oxygen mask on first, figure out who we are in this world, and then step into relationship with people without this judgmental lens, but really an open lens of curiosity. Tell me who you are. Help me understand that, because we're missing out on like half of the population if we go around thinking everyone's going to be like us. That's so idiotic. And so again, back to the marginalized types, I can go off on this stuff. And the last marginalized type, because I've got plenty more to talk about today, the last marginalized type are the Ps. So we live currently in a very structured, organized world, especially if you work in corporate America. And I have a lot of P clients, and they can certainly attest to this, that their desire, their innateness, their way of living 5 minutes in front of their face, being spontaneous, being going with the flow is very is natural to them, but they also report feeling very stupid, I guess is the best word. If I think about all of the P clients that I work with, they go through the world feeling as if there's something wrong with them. And it's because we live in this we need to do this. It's very controlling. Can we get an amen, especially us women right now, that we got to do everything. And this is an epidemic that I'm watching right now of masculine women, that they don't know how to relax. They don't know how to let their partner lead. They don't know how to let them do what they need to do. And there is this overwhelming need to control and manage and be hyper busy. There's a bunch of new authors out. There was an amazing article that I posted on my business page from the New York Times about doing is the new busy. That this used to be a cool thing for us. How many things can we be doing and how fucking busy can we be? And I remember a client like on the phone in my waiting room. She was a therapy client. She was always like busy. And she was like, I'm always doing something. And I was like, I'm not impressed by that. I'm not impressed by that at all. What I'm impressed by is how people can learn how to be and be present. And so these are the marginalized types. I would love to see some comments below. How has this formed you? How has this shaped you? I mean, this is literally, well, one of the reasons that I do this, and then all the, crap that went down in my marriage. But a big part of this is growing up feeling left out, feeling marginalized. I mean, I literally, and I've told this story before, I remember being in corporate America kind of in my early 20s, and it would be like 4:30 or something, and I would just look around the office and be like, am I the only one who thinks this is just fucking stupid that we're all pretending to still be here? Like, I can use my time better than I work way harder than I did when I, had to work, 40 hours a week, but that creativity, that part makes you feel different until you learn how to embrace it and harness it. And that's where I'm going to talk to you guys about this the rest of the week, but I wanted to highlight for those of you that feel very marginalized. So if, for example, if you are an INFP man, you feel really, really, really marginalized because you're marginalized in every single dichotomy. If you're an INTP woman, which I've had clients have that epiphany in my office and be like, oh shit, no wonder I feel so different and left out from other people, is because they're marginalized in every single type. So I'm going to move on because I've got a million things to talk about, and you can tell I can talk about everything. Chapter 7, whole letter type. This is super fast. If you still don't know your whole letter type, about 75% of the population has one of the dichotomies that, hi Cindy, that they don't know which one they are. For example, I'm an ENFJ. So if I didn't know if I was an ENFJ or an ENFP, there's one of those dichotomies you're not sure about. The way that you figure it out is that you go read both two-letter whole types. You can simply Google ENFJ, or it's on my website at jessicabutts.com under the book tab. All 16 of them are listed, and you've got to be able to, you've got to know the whole letter type, because when you start adding, good morning everybody, when you start adding all the parts together, it makes a whole, and then we get to start dissecting it. And that's actually where I want to end this call, is with chapter 9. And none of you are going to hear this anywhere else. This is one thing that you're not going to be able to Google because I made this up. So a lot of you know that I like to joke and say I make up facts, but this is my new archetypal view. John Bowlby picked up the Myers-Briggs work many, many years ago, and Bowlby wrote his own archetypes. I'm going to be, oh good, Stephanie's saying it's handout number 4. Thank you, Stephanie. That Bowlby wrote his own archetypes. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like ethereal bullshit. I don't like people that talk like up here. It's just not useful. And I think his archetypes are helpful, but they're a little ethereal, and I like concrete, actionable information. And so I created archetypes off of the work that I've been doing for the last 20 years around personality type. And that is crazy to say that. It's actually been over 20 years. I started when I was 21, and I'm almost 46. Oh my God, that means I've been doing this shit for 25 years. Wow. Okay. Chapter 9, the archetypal views. You guys ready for this? Drum roll, please. Blah, 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 blah. This is super fun shit. Okay. There's 4 archetypes. It's the second and last letter. And again, John Bowlby has his own, and he does his own variation. I believe the second and last letter make up an archetype of how you show up in this world. And again, this is when personality type gets really fun. It's not just introversion and extroversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, judging, and perceiving, or even your whole letter type. It's when you start pairing everything together and you start playing with it is when things get really, really fun. So the 4 archetypes are sensing judgers, SJs. SJs are the police. How many of you are a police? You might put a little police emoji below just to make it fun and cute. How many of you are my SJs? It is the largest population because censors make up 75% of the population and judgers make up about 55%. So they have a much higher population. SJs are the police. They are the do-gooders. They are the rule followers. They are the ones that are worried about logic and data and details, and they are very right people. So my sister, my mom, my ex-husband, all of these people are very you got to do it the right way. And so you can tell when somebody like myself and many of you watching, intuitives, we're with people like that in our life, we feel wronged because there's so much judgment based on who they are innately about who we are. And so my mom and I have gone through this interesting evolution in our relationship the last couple of years of where she's really learned how to understand this creative weirdo-ness that I have. Probably also just because I'm successful at it, but for her there's some judgment around that, like where's your 401k and where's your health insurance, and tell me the facts and how is this going to work? And, as I know, I say the way that it's going to work is I'm going to fucking make it work. I'm going to hustle and I'm going to make it work. And so you intuitives say that all the time. Like, I don't need to prove it to you. This is just how I'm going to make it work. So SJs are the police, and they are, thank God for them. Thank God for them. Debbie Rosemont is on here. I see she is definitely an SJ. These are the organized, decisive decision makers in this world. Good morning, Jenny. The next are the NJs, the intuitive judgers. So intuitive judgers, I call the entrepreneurs. Big picture thinkers, super creative, think outside the box. Steve Jobs, Barack Obama's, definitely not our current president, but lots of like NJs out there. Very creative energy. Yet everybody has their positives, but this is also the negative of NJs, is they're very focused and very driven, sometimes to a fault. So I like to think of it of wearing horse blinders, if you will. It's a little bit like, this is where I'm going, get the fuck out of the way. And it can be a little jarring sometimes for people because they have a vision, they have a creative mindset, and they're laser focused on it when they need to be able to allow people to come in and help them with that creativity. So they are the entrepreneurs. The last two, the NP, no, I'll do that one last. SJs SJs. So they are tactile people. So S's are touching people. They like to touch things and feel it, but they're also very, very spontaneous. So they are the adventurers. In the book, I call it the Nike Just Do It, but I've actually started to think of them more as the adventurers. They like to cook and they like to paint. And if they're introverted, they like to do introverted, tactile kinds of things. They may start projects and never finish projects. If they're extroverts, typically they're the adventurers. They're the ones that are jumping out of airplanes and climbing rocks because they're living in the moment, which is what sensors do. They're great at living in the moment, yet they don't really think about the consequences. And last but not least are my beloved, so many of you are this, and I had a full call on this last week. You guys are my squirrels. My NPs. You guys are creative and think outside the box and you have tons of ideas. Yet, remember the movie Up with Doug the dog? And he was talking to his owner and then whoop, squirrel. They're very distracted by bright, shiny objects. So I have lovingly called you guys the squirrels because through my experience of coaching and helping leaders and entrepreneurs through the years, this is what I witness, is that there's so many ideas, yet there's a massive lack of focus. And so J's need P's, P's need J's, S's need N's, and N needs S's. And we need to be able to come together and help each other out. Hence the book, Don't Do Stuff That You Suck At. And so we've got to be able to stop doing all this bullshit that we're not innately good at. Find people in our lives to help us with the things that we're not good at so that we can build a well-rounded life and business. And also just, again, quit pathologizing people. That there's something wrong with people that aren't our same personality type. Sarah, I love that you typed a squirrel. That's perfect. All right, you guys. I think that's it for me today. As you can tell, I am not home, so I got to get moving on my day here. I'm really excited to end this with you. For those of you who want the handouts, if you are already on my email list, Stephanie keeps reminding me to tell you this. If you are already on my email list, you do not need to sign up. We are just sending that out to everybody. But if you want the handouts, if you want these emailed to you, if you want reminders, if you want to be able to send this to somebody else not on Facebook, just go over to my website, jessicabutts.com, get on my email, and Stephanie will lovingly send you all of this info. I hope this is helpful. This is the whole intention that I do this, getting up early, coming to you live at 7 a.m., and I will be doing it for 4 more days. And then stay tuned for summer school. I'm pretty freaking excited about this. It's really about helping keep all of us on track, because even the J's, I hear this all the time. Oh, I'm just gonna take the summer off and fart around, and everyone loses focus, which is really crazy since it's an entire quarter out of the year. But then I also hear from a lot of J's that they are, that they're feeling, that they go through depression sometimes. They go through this anxiety feeling that's going on. And so I'm really going to be here to help you stay focused on your business and to get some shit done, but also learn how to compartmentalize, hence the tattoo on my arm, to learn how to compartmentalize, how to turn your phone off for 12 hours, how to be with your family, how to go on vacation and not be on your phone the entire time, but also compartmentalize and be able to get some shit done when you're working. So, all right, guys, love you guys. I will see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Okay, bye. Thanks for joining me.